The recycling rate for plastics is the lowest from all the materials. If you have metals, no problem. Ceramics, if I see it there, it's also possible. But the plastic, there's a problem with the mixture. As I said, if it's mixed with something, it's really difficult to get separated. So for plastics and also for paper, you cannot reuse it and not add something new without losing some quality. So, and with plastics, it's even more difficult because you will lose quality anyway because the color will go away. So there are possibilities. I can say here in Europe and also in Germany, you reuse the plastic balls.
I'm just thinking, which material are still the hardest to keep everything in the loop?
At the moment, I think it's easy. It's plastics. Because we have a very low, you just have to look at the numbers. The recycling rate for plastics is the lowest from all the materials. If you have metals, no problem. Ceramics, if I see it there, it's also possible. But the plastic, there's a problem with the mixture. As I said, if it's mixed with something, it's really difficult to get separated. Also, it's difficult to separate colors. Probably have just one gray color at the end or a black one. And then you cannot have a loop. If you have you have a white part. After the first usage, you have probably gray part. And then we will get a black part after some time. So this is not a loop. It's maybe 2 cycles and then it's gone. So a loop is also unrealistic. If you look at paper, the paper is getting worse and worse. You cannot go in the loop. Where it is unrealistic, for example, is for glass, is for metal. They can go in the loop all the time, but they need both a lot of energy, which is also not so. To melt glass, everybody knows will take a lot of energy, and to melt metal also. So they could be recycled or go in loop all the time, but it's there's an energetic problem, let's say. But with plastics, we have a very low recycle rate, and it has a reason why it is that low, because it's difficult. It's not that somebody wants to harm the environment, it's just difficult.
Basically, no such upcycle. Everything is downcycling.
Yeah, I think not everything. Metal, I think it's possible. You can separate metals if you have gold and silver, and so you can separate them. You can even upcycle. You can, if you have a cell phone, you can of course separate the metals out of it. That's probably the easiest. It will cost money and time, but it is possible. So even then, you can make out of a cell phone a gold bar. Not that much, but you can make it. So then you can see, is it an upcycle? So with metal, I think upcycling is possible. With glass, probably also. But with plastics, it's always, and paper also, it's always a downcycle. I think it's possible anyway.
I know the plastic, if we separate well, and then like what you said, we use the recycled plastic with the same material, same color, the tension is still decreasing.
Yeah, the chains are getting shorter and shorter. If you use it and you heat it up again, and so the stability of the plastics is decreasing. But in plastics, it's the same as for paper. You have essentially the same. You have chains in paper as you have in plastic. So both are polymers. But if you reuse it, then also paper gets worse. So you cannot use 100% recycled paper, or it will get very unstable. You have to put some new paper in it. And that's the same essentially for plastics. Even if you can sort everything one color, you have to have some new material in it to let it stay the same. So 100% is not possible. And with metals, it's different. That's an important thing.
Good to know. And yeah, even recycle, it still need a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Yes. Energy is the second thing. And water, you see it for water is also not a limited resource. Let's say you have to do something to get it, clean water. So this is the thing mostly for paper. To have clean water, it uses a lot. And but for other processes, cooling water is also needed. So you have resources that is needed: energy, or water, or air, so CO2 production, and so on. So this is for every recycling step. It's normally that you need resources. you cannot change matter like you want without any energy.
That's true.
So it always needs some energy.
Still, it's better than go to waste. Giving a second life or third life, better to become a waste or trash.
That's clear.
I thought they reuse the old thing. They take the old thing and then make the new one, but the quality may be down a little bit. That was, I guess.
Yeah. So you downcycle all the time. That's so for plastics and also for paper, you cannot reuse it and not add something new without losing some quality. So and with plastics, it's even more difficult because you will lose quality anyway because the color will go away. So there are possibilities. I can say here in Europe and also in Germany, you reuse the plastic bottles. It's PET bottles. They are sorted, or they come back because they cost money. They come back as they are. So every PET bottle without color is sorted and used again as a PET bottle. So I think 7-8 times or so, and the quality stays more or less the same. So you can have one-time use bottles from plastic, and they are circular or part circular. They are and still stay somehow transparent. So most of the bottles. So this is possible but only a certain amount of time you can do it like this. You can reuse and scrap it and then reuse. That's possible, but the quality of the material is going down, 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 and down. That's but the same as for paper, and not for metal or glass. It's the color is also a thing, but for metal, I can say for sure, it's there. You can clean it up. You can use it again. It will be the same metal as before.
How can cities incentivize residents to participate?
I think the easiest or the way that is the best or the what works most is to let it cost money if you don't do it, because that's the thing that works. So you have your deposit return system or something like this. This works always. It don't have to be much, but the people need to see that that it costs money to not reuse or recycle properly. Then even if it's not much, a lot of people, because they see that they do something good, and if they don't do it, they get money, they lose money, and even if it's a little bit, it's normally enough. So in Germany, for example, it was more, but also less. But we had have a system for the bottles, the plastic bottles, that they have to be brought back. Otherwise, you lose some money, or somebody else get it, and because he sorts the bottles, and this works very well, and it works also on the past. It works for years now, and I think that's an easy way. Also for the plastic bags, as it's the same in Germany or in Europe, most of that. If you want to have a plastic bag, one-time use, you have to pay. Even if it's not much, most of the people will get a reusable bag.
I remember when, of course, in Hong Kong, because I born in Hong Kong. When I was kids, like 80s or 80s, 80s, when we purchase a soft drinks, we use glass bottles. So every time we finish, we return it, and we'll have $1. So that's, I think it's happening again in your country. Reusable is an incentive.
Yes, it doesn't need to meet much. It's just if there's some incentive to get it back. If it's a little bit more, there's even an incentive that some people go around. And if there is a big party, for example, some people with less money go around and collect all the bottles, and they get some money out of it. It's not that less money that you get out of it, and that's also, it's good. They do some work, but and at the end they have money out of it. There's nothing bad. It works, I think.
The Hong Kong Environmental Protection Department runs a program. In English, it's a Green at Community. It's in Hong Kong is a big 6. The logo is a 6, numbers 6, because 6 in Cantonese is same as green. Look.
So
uses 6. And actually, it works very well. People bring recyclable products like plastic bottles and tin can papers, bring it there, sort it, and then they will have an apps collect points. Once you have enough points, you can exchange. You can earn your gift, like rice, very practical. Canned food, soft drinks. It works very well. It works the best in Hong Kong right now. The recycle system is a bit intensive.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not that centralized. So there is some centralization, but I know for the plastic bottles, for example, as a good example, there needs to be a lot of infrastructure to make, because in every supermarket you can bring back your bottle. So every supermarket has to have a machine where you could put your bottle. That costs a lot, and if you would do it for everything, it gets more problematic. So if there is a possibility that, let's say, not that centralized, there's a system which does not need every supermarket to put their box. Maybe it's better or more easy, and not that expensive to put it up. But the thing is, maybe even the thing with the bottles, it needs to be taken into account that waste costs money. So if you throw away a plastic or something that has to be disposed of somewhere, and if it's not thrown in the ocean, it's not that cheap to do it. You can burn it, of course, but you have to collect it, and you have to get rid of the waste and so on. So I think in the overall view, it's better for the whole society, and probably even more cheap, to collect the stuff than to throw it away without use.
How about in Vietnam? Any incentive to the citizens or residents to do
Actually,
the
the government are now taking some action, like I told you, in Hanoi, but not much. Vietnam don't have much. Usually, some organization they do it by themselves. And they collaborate with another country, like from AU or something. They collaborate with Charter, and they improve their economy right here. So I really hope that government take action, because most of the government give us some rule will be more effect to people. For me. Sorry, my English not that good, so I don't know how to explain.
But I think I understand it's for the whole of the society. It's probably it needs some work and costs some money at the beginning. But I think if there is a centralized, there's some kind of system there, that's best for the whole of the society. You have less to waste. On the waste that is lying around has to be picked up. It costs money. If you return it, you can reuse it, and this saves money. And at the end, it's best for everybody if this is some kind regulated, some kind, and it's also good for the environment, but probably also good for the people. So it should be done, I think.
Is true that zero waste achievable as goal, or is it a guiding star? What do you think?
we talked about it before. I think it's more a guiding star, of course, because 100%. We probably all agree is not possible. Just one explanation or one thing that comes to my mind. First, it's not the thing with packaging. It has to do with tires of cars. You see, the tires are now essentially made out of plastics. In the past, they were very far away past, they were rubber, but now they are essentially plastics. But if you want to brake or accelerate or something, you need to have grip. And if you have grip, you lose particles, and these particles go to the environment. So this cannot be recycled. This is part of the use of the part. So also so that these parts are lost is clear that they are lost. You cannot recycle 100% of the rubber of a tire, it's not possible, because it will be lost in the process. And it's similar for other parts also. But I think a lot of things like packaging and so on could be recycled in a very high, but not 100%. It's an aim to achieve as much as possible. But for plastics, it's not that easy, I have to say. I think we are at 9%. In Germany, we are at 20%. And it doesn't rise that much.
As we know that plastic very harmful for people health, right? So if we recycle the old plastic, is it have any harm to us to using again?
To use it again, so there is, if we use the plastic again, there could be a harm if we use it for packaging for food, because you will get everything out of the process in the packaging, and the packaging can give it back to the food. So there is some problem in recycling for food packaging, but it could be solved, and it is the same for, at least for paper. And not the same for metal and so on, or for glass also not. But this is a problem. But you, of course, can do the downcycling. You can have first food packaging, then you can have packaging for wires or something, and at the end you can have packaging for even lower parts. This is possible and will reduce the plastic waste also, but not 100%, obviously.
All right, thank you. Circular economy. I think the zero waste is always difficult, but it is a stepping stone. We need to move forward, one step forward, and then we can achieve something. Otherwise, we'll stay the same. So if it's more step, we'll benefit to our next generation. I believe so. All right, thank you very much.
Slow fashion. Fast.
See you in the next episode.
All right, okay. Yeah.